Hello, this is Reverend Angelia with today's Bible reading. Today's reading comes from Ephesians 5, Wives and Husbands. Wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as church is the head of the church. Christ is head of church, His body, of which he is the Savior. And I'm going to touch on that. You knew I would. This is Jewish tradition where the man was above the woman was to be kept outside, even of the house of worship. This is not what Jesus said. Nowhere in Jesus' words did he say this. In fact, he had women who ministered unto him and his disciples, and women who had church in their houses. So this is a Jewish tradition. I mean, to tell a functioning adult they have to be under someone else, that's not what Jesus would do, in my opinion. And all my years of study, I've been studying the Bible since I was 13 years old. Been around a little while. That's my opinion. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy. Now, okay, I'm going to put to you, wives, also love your husbands, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it to make it holy. So, husbands and wives, stop competing with each other. Stop trying to be parents to each other. That's how you're ruining your relationships. I've had people in my family, I know in my personal relationships, where the competition, well, you're not going to be over me, well, you're not going to be over me, and the competition goes on. And this is not how it was meant to be. Jesus said that God meant them to be, together, man and woman, together as one flesh. So if you're competing with each other, you're trying to subjugate one another, trying to be one another's parents, that's not going to work. Your relationship is not going to work. Wives, love your husbands. Husbands, love your wives. Come together as a team, partners. That's what you're supposed to be. You're in this together. No one should be the boss. Be together in love, just like Christ said. Cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish. So, like, when a lot of this little bickering goes on, and if you start insulting your husband or wife, I say you can't do that unless you can find something Jesus said to back you up. Then you can pull that and say, Jesus said. Other than that, don't argue about it. Don't argue about it. It's not that important. It's not that important. He did say to keep your word. So, like, if someone promised they do this and then they don't do this, and say you do it, then you say, hey, you gave me your word. Jesus said you're supposed to keep your word, not lie. Just be good to each other. Treat them with the respect you would like to be treated with. That's how that works. And my own brother said this after he and his wife came out of therapy, was when we stopped trying to be each other's parents, the relationship got better. And I think that is a great thing for everyone to hear, because that's the truth. When you stop trying to, parent the other spouse, then you can be partners, like it was meant to be in the beginning. We're meant to be each other's helpmate. In this way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated his own body, and that's not true with, self-esteem going on. But he feeds and cares for it, just as Christ does the church. For we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife. See, that's how that's supposed to work. You're supposed to get married, go get your own place, go have your own children, go have your own life. And the two shall become one flesh. This is a profound mystery. But I am talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself. Doesn't say abuse your wife, be mean to your wife. It says love your wife. Do unto your wife as you would have your wife do unto you. Golden rule still works. And the wife must respect her husband. Same thing. Do unto your husband as you would have your husband do unto you. Back to the golden rule thing. And, well, that's all for now. Until next time.